Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says the province has raised 320 billion rand in investment commitments for economic growth and employment. He gave an update earlier on developments and priority projects for the province. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala was there for us, and she joins us now for the latest. Nqobile, the point about this 320 billion rand is that it's investment commitments. How much of it is actual money?
Well, at this point, we understand that a lot of it will become money as they continue to have those conversations with the investors that were pledging this money. You'll remember, Michelle, that the Gauteng conference was one of its kind. In fact, it brought in various investors and various role players to look at where they can actually look at those opportunities and exercise their willpower to be able to invest in one of those. But what we know also is that it's supposed to translate to employment for young people in Gauteng. And part of it from that is that we heard from the Premier saying that he's also introducing Nasispani. And you'll remember for a while he was quite criticized with what we saw, long queues with young people trying to get employment. And what we have seen now, he's saying that over 42,000 people might actually benefit on the new way of getting Nasispani. So part of that is also investing in the youth that is currently underskilled. So we know that the new thing for Gauteng is also to get TVET colleges to be able to train the youth to also speak to that employment issues within the province. And I want to bring in the Premier to speak to us about that. Premier, actually interesting, as I was speaking to Michelle, we're speaking about that amount of money that you say the province has got in pledges. If you can just detail how much we have now in actually cash, if it's possible.
No, we are working that around that. Thank you so much for hosting us. We identified countries and institutions that wants to invest in Gauteng. We specifically went to them. That is why we could estimate that we can target 300 billion rands. But we're surprised that there were others that were invited by other people, and we hit the 320 billion rands in investment. That will really change Gauteng into some new city that we want to see in terms of road infrastructure, companies that are coming here, logistics, the warehouses, and many other institutions. So what we are doing now is then to assist them to apply for the relevant permissions that are needed by municipalities, because municipalities need to give them land, water, electricity. We are also working with institutions like NERSA, because others want to establish solar farms and other institutions. So we're giving ourselves until the end of, say, August to know that the legislative or regulations requirement are met. And hopefully after that, then we will see the buildings going up. I mean, for example, take Microsoft. Microsoft is investing 25 billion rands in our province with data centers to assist us with the data management and other things. So we really believe we are on the right track. But you can't do that if the basics are not there. If people don't have reliable road infrastructure is full of potholes, the traffic lights are not working, there's crime and other things. That's why we are spending time now to sort out those things. And I'm happy in terms of crime. The two kingpins that were responsible for cash heist were nabbed by the police last week. We identified 450 of people that are causing problems. We are on 150 now, those that have been arrested. So we just need to sort out the crime, basic infrastructure, and this beautiful province of ours will then rise and be a beautiful province that, including our CBDs, Johannesburg CBD in particular.
Premier, we know that one of the ways that you're going to be sorting that infrastructure is actually by bringing in young people to be part of that project in Nasispani. Yes. How many could potentially be employed from this?
Those that have applied to be reskilled or to be trained is almost over 522,000. These are young people that are based in Gauteng that are unemployed. Say they want to be plumbers, electricians, welders, bricklayers, the basic skills that we need to complete incomplete infrastructure in our province. But we want to use them to start also to build the new clinics, the new schools, the new community halls, and many things that we've been struggling with. So we want to group them under professional bodies that can ensure that the work that they do is professional work, clean work. So by June, we're launching this project. They'll be in training until the end of August or so. and they will be certified, and after being certified, we'll then deploy them as government. It's a huge target, 520,000 people, it's massive, but it's skills that we need, because you can't have a pothole and have a young person sitting at home not working. So you train that person, if there's a pothole, they then in a position to fill it, and they will then invoice us as government and will pay for that. We really believe that will fast-track the normalization of basic services in our province.
Thank you very much, Premier, for speaking to us. That's the Premier highlighting those issues, Michelle. But part of that also is what we have heard from the Premier is that the hospital, Tembisa Hospital, you'll remember that fire that gutted parts of the hospital, is that there's also an investment that is also put forward where they're going to be able to rebuild the hospital.